Hello and welcome, I'm Liam the Music Reviewer.
Despite me even knowing who young Liam is. Despite me even knowing who young Liam is. Despite me even knowing who young Liam is.
And today we're going to be talking about the new John Misty tracks that are coming off his upcoming fourth album, God's Favourite Customer. They dropped around about midnight over here in the UK. And yeah, I'm just going to be reviewing them. Mr. Tillman came out a few months back, and if you didn't see my video on that, the gist is that it was a great track. It's a shift from the whole sound and style of Pure Comedy, which was in my top 25 albums of last year. I don't think it's quite as perfect as people say it is. Like, just in my own opinion, I can see why people is just mesmerised by it as they are. I think it gets a bit self-indulgent at points, and sometimes instrumentally it's not as captivating as it really should be for an album of that nature, but lyrically it was super rich. The concept itself was done very well, but John Misty is himself admitted that his past two albums have been pretty pretentious. I don't think many people would argue with him, because he does seem to have such a way with his work where it does kind of, it may come across that way to a lot of people. So with God's Favourite Customer, he's trying to be a bit more, maybe more pensive and reflective. I think that's a vibe I'm getting from Mr. Tillman, as well as these two new tracks, just dumb enough to try and Disappointing Diamonds are the rarest of them all. The first single in order anyway is Diamonds, and it's my favourite out of the two. It sounds like a Beatles song, like that kind of just like perfect like melodic pop song, where John Misty like gets these like really like crude or negative scenarios, like the very first one, like a pervert on a crowded bus with their love or their glare of love looking over all of them. It's just such a Tillman line right there. Like just this entire song it's quite funny in such a kind of like oofed way. It's not quite edgelord humour, which I'm glad about. I don't need any more of that. But yeah, he does it very well here. And in terms of like the chorus itself, it's obviously just him trying to, I think it sounds almost like he's trying to reassure himself that how he doesn't have to like push himself to being like the greatest of them all, because I do think that with the boom in popularity and critical acclaim that came about last year after Pure Comedy, he probably did feel that way. He did record this last year. It took him about 2 months, I think it was. He self-produced it, done a lot of the writing at like a hotel and such, which may have some sort of like parallel to how true Mr. Tillman as a song is. And yeah, that's kind of like the theme, I think, the major theme, or even more the fact that it's not going to be so much like obliquely kind of like conceptual or anything like that. It'll probably be one that can kind of stand on its own 2 feet, sort of thing. And yeah, I do think that Diamonds is the better song out of the two here, just because it is instrumentally interesting as it is lyrically. But Dumb Enough to Try is still a very good song. I saw somebody say it's quite Elton John like, as like a ballad in that, which isn't really a bad thing, because like an Elton John ballad isn't a bad thing by any means, but it's both the most egotistical and the least egotistical. It's really just kind of John Misty like cutting himself down to size here, where it's something which is quite important considering he's an artist. Even though as much as he's an artist, like, he's very much a character. There's very few people that I can think of where like they keep this kind of like whole character going. It's almost like method acting or something like that. Like, it's hard to kind of tell where John Misty kind of like begins and ends, as it were. But basically on Dumb Enough to Try, he's like really bigging himself he's bigging himself up by being like how great a songwriter he is, how much of a ladies' man he is in that. But to this person that he admires so much and loves, it's not like enough for them. Like they don't really mind. Like it's kind of like inconsequential. And the similes that he uses, where like you say you could drown it in a sink, you could fill a bag with it. He's very much not trying to be like braggadocious at all. He's self-aware. He knows the admiration that he receives and how it might not be enough to this love interest. He might be trying to like say this about just some fans in general who just don't like his work. It doesn't matter how great he thinks he's doing, it just kind of like doesn't really matter to them in the long run. Just from the tracks that we've heard from this album alone, I think this is going to be his most interesting album for me. Anyway, it's very much going to be like how other artists of a similar nature have had to kind of like reflect on themselves. It happens a lot obviously in hip hop, where like they kind of like go away from all the glitz and the glamour and kind of realise like who they are, and just critique themselves. And that's always intrigued me, and I think it will intrigue me with John Misty, like just the artwork here where he's just looking very moody, looking like he's in thought, one eye on the camera and whatnot, along with like the self-production and that. I think it's going to be kind of a case of him looking at himself in a critical manner, but also like proving that he can do it, like how he can produce this himself, how he can go about just doing this great job. Maybe that's a bit of a reach, and if you think so, you can let me know. But I'm excited for this album. Again, I like Pure Comedy a great deal. I Love You Honey Bear is one of the best albums of the 2010s in my opinion. Something to get around to for your fun. But God's Favourite Customer might just be something that people aren't really gonna, I think people are going to be expecting a lot out of because of Pure Comedy. Some might be disappointed, but I don't think it's going to be anywhere near as polarising as Pure Comedy is, which I was surprised by, because I didn't realise that some people hated it to the extent they did, or that they weren't as impressed as some people were. I don't know what kind of person would think that. It really kind of boggles my mind. But yeah, I'm really big on these two tracks. I want you guys to let me know what you're thinking, just my quick thoughts on it. I can't really speak to generally here until I know how it all fits into the context here, but from what guesses I can make, I think this can be right up my street, and hopefully be right up your street as well. But yeah, I've been Liam the Music Reviewer. Thank you very much for helping me hit that 200 subscriber milestone. I won't really talk about like milestones in general, I think, until I hit 500. Then I'll do my live stream, and I hit 1000, I'll do that other live stream where I drink 3 litres of water. And yeah, bit ambitious. Don't expect to hit either of those this year. But yeah, just thank you. It's been a lot of fun. That YouTube bracket was a lot of fun. Thank you for all the kind words I got from that. And yeah, just yeah, but yeah, put a lot of words. But yeah, stay safe, stay hydrated, and I'll see you guys very soon.